Thank you, Simon, that you at the last moment make it happen, and we are 4 of 4 instead of 3. So that would be interesting conversation. You even don't know what we're gonna talk about, probably. Yes,
I heard it was about AI, right?
For you, man, is using AI in your ASO strategy. So I think you can manage it, no?
Oh, worst case, I'll just ask ChatGPT to answer for me, right?
Exactly, man, exactly. Hi guys, my name is George. I'm from Georgia, representing here the Gamehive, the cool role-play game studio, helping them with app store optimization. Besides that, I'm working with different apps and games, helping them with UA, app store optimization, monetization as well. Besides that, I have my hustling show, 3 Minute Bullshit with George, where I'm inviting one person, one question, one answer, with dancing and bloopers. All episodes are funny except one that we shoot together with my colleague Evgen Tarasenko more than 1 year ago, which is dedicated to the Ukrainian refugees, our colleagues as well, who lost their jobs. So check that this episode. Maybe if you have open position, feel free to forward this. We developed the deck, so feel free to forward the deck with our colleagues and their position to HR. There is another initiative from another colleagues, Alexandra Lomachenko, who developed the site for people who drawing artwork for refugee kids. So actually they drawing the artwork, so you can buy for $5-10, and this money will go directly to the refugees, to their family, or you can just donate $5-10 directly to the refugee family, and not through a third-part tool, but directly to them. So please, if one of you guys will do this, my speech, my life will be good, and then I can leave right now even without discussing this AI topic. So thank you so much. I don't want to waste too much time for you guys, and let you introduce yourself with the hot topic, why each app marketer should pay attention about AI today, artificial intelligence. Alper?
Why they should?
Why?
Work? No? Yes? Okay. Why? Because if you don't keep up with the ongoing things, you'll be just left behind. Because if you don't use it, your competitors will use it, right? Similar to Apple Search Ads brand.
But first, please present yourself,
sure.
Because only me and a couple of people know you, man.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, my name's Alper. I've been doing app marketing for the past 10 years, working both in product and marketing teams, and yeah, like I do have a main project where we produce utility and productivity apps, and I also still do consulting on the side. And I've been using AI since December. I actually went through my history to check when I started with the ChatGPT, and it was just experimental for fun. It was just experimental at the beginning for fun, and then with the, I think, ChatGPT Plus, then I started using it also for work. And in terms of why they should be
don't laugh, man.
And it's a great tool to, I think, to enhance your ideas, and there are multiple purposes, but the easiest one is like just to bounce ideas and then come up with a different angle, or just reshuffle the keywords. I think we're going to also discuss more in detail, but overall it cannot hurt you, and for me it has been only helpful at every stage that I use. And I don't use it only for ASO, I use it for UA, CRM, CRO, paywall optimization stuff as well. So.
Cool. And Skylar?
All right, hey guys, I'm Skylar. I'm the ASO manager at Picsart, a photo editing app, if you're not familiar. And yeah, I've been there for about 2 years. And to answer the question, I'm just going to echo what Alper said. I think maybe Simon might have the same, but yeah, I think it's just to get literate with AI now, since it's a new thing. Because yeah, if you don't, you're gonna get left in the dust, and other people down the line will be able to kind of do what you do, but even better, with the help of AI. I like to compare it to like when the internet first became a thing. I don't know, I was probably too young to remember that, but I think people who were like the early adopters and started using the internet and playing around with it ended up having a big advantage because now, everything is internet based. And I think AI is going to be very similar.
Simon?
Yeah, so I guess first of all, I'm not Nadir, but
Fake Nadir.
But Nadir is on LinkedIn and he has great insights to it. So add him there. He usually engages with people, so I'll give him a plug because I shouldn't have been here. Myself, I'm working at AppTweak, an ASO platform that some of you may know. And when it comes to why you should use AI, I don't think people are going to be left in the dust so early, but it's more of, it just saves time. Like when you want to have, when you need to come up with text, usually, I don't know about you guys, but I'm probably way too negative. But if I see something I don't like, I immediately come up with ways to fix it. But if I'm asked just like, can you come up with a new marketing tagline, it's going to take me a lot of time. So what I'll do with ChatGPT and just ask it, give me 3 options of a marketing tagline. I won't like any of them, but now I will know what I actually like, and I'll be able to come up with suggestions of my own. So I think it really helps save time.
Cool, man. And also before existing AI, actually we live with AI for a long time. For instance, Siri, it's also AI assistant, or like Facebook, also taking the faces and getting the suggestions based on AI. So it's more than several years with us, and we don't don't consider it as AI, but it is the AI part of AI as well. Yes. So the next question, actually, I want to ask, it's about what is the impact of AI on app store optimization strategy and results. And, there are several opinions that AI gonna switch and already switching the agencies and tools that were existing before, that providing the similar services. And what is your observation and your opinion on that? And of course, your expertise, Skylar?
So, my take on AI is I don't think that it's gonna be able to do anything that we can't do, but it will allow us to do things more efficiently. So doing more in less time with less resources. When it comes to agencies, I think it's going to do the same for agencies as well. So I think it'll allow agencies to be more efficient as well. I think that agencies are also probably the first kind of adopters because they kind of have to be. So they're the first ones becoming really literate and figuring out how to incorporate AI into their business model to kind of like provide more offerings to their clients. But the long and short of it is I don't think AI is going to like make agencies go out of business. I think there's always going to be a place for agencies, at least in the foreseeable future. But I do, if I had to make a guess on it, I'd say maybe smaller, more agile companies, they might go in favor of AI for certain things where they would have had an agency in the past. But ultimately, I don't think it's going to kill agencies or anything. Just make them more efficient and make us more efficient as well.
But what about ASO strategy and AI?
ASO strategy.
Yeah, exactly. There are several questions that I shoot. So
the ASO. Well,
that's the main one, man.
Yeah. The ASO strategy. I think is the question: how can we use it?
Yeah, like AI and ASO. Like, what is your experience, of usage and of ASO? How you change ASO strategy based on implementation of AI?
Yeah. I mean, it's the same. I think it's just made me more efficient, and being able to do things that would have taken me a lot longer. And I can give an example of, like, for example. Competitor research or something like that. I like to use AI a lot to look into specific competitors. If we see competitors that are doing really well, I'll go into ChatGPT, ask them to summarize, like, can you give me a summary of this competitor's ASO strategy? And obviously it's not there are more prompts involved in that, but that's the overarching main point. And I'm a lot of times able to get like a list of like their whole strategy, and it's split out into like keyword optimization, conversion rate optimization, and everything like reviews, what people like and don't like about the product. But there are like many other use cases that I'm sure these guys are going to talk to, but that's my favorite one.
Cool. Simon?
I don't think AI can do anything about ASO strategy, because I think ASO is usually not a strategy, or rather like your strategy is your strategy. ASO is just one way of executing on it. So just to be clear, I think that when it comes to AI doing ASO for you, it can give you a lot of things to do faster. Skylar's examples were really good. I would say just trying to ask, can you suggest a few subtitle options for the iOS app page? Translating stuff. Translation is really useful to get when you do keyword research. You want to know what are proper translation for keywords. Google Translate has been, I guess, an old AI, but ChatGPT also has really good things because it's a language model. And so I think there's a lot you can experiment with. The only thing is, I would insist with anyone that it not be called a strategy, because to me a strategy has much more to do with what you're trying to achieve for your business, and at that point it requires to make choices, not just to follow the manual. And so if you ask AI will do the same thing for everyone, or almost the same thing. It will have little consideration for how are you different from the previous person who asked the same question. So that to me is the one part where I would draw the line.
Alper, I'm not sure that you're going to agree, and thank you so much, because these guys are agree to each other, so let's play bad guys roles. Please, Alper, I will follow.
Yeah. I think I agree and disagree. I think you differentiated by different prompts. Of course, if you just write, hey, give me 3 different headlines for I don't know, casual puzzle game, you might get similar responses, but I think it's about how to utilize it. I mean, maybe if I first ask a question to audience, like, how many of you are using AI today in your job? Okay, how many of you are using on daily basis or very regular basis? Okay, so we don't have to talk about how AI can help ASO, but maybe we can talk about more specifics and to basically.
So you have a questions to me right now, yes? That let's move forward, George, yeah, or what?
No, like I will explain first about the strategy, but overall, I think when you utilize it in the correct way, like you will have output that will support your strategy and also execute the strategy. And I would always suggest to refrain from such very short prompts and expect AI to do the miracle. But in terms of the differentiation, like there are easy ways to differentiate. Like you really give your everything that you know about your business, about the competition, and that's how you can differentiate the responses and use the different models. And the way I treat AI, and I think how AI should be treated, in my opinion, is that like a friend or employee or your child or, like a person. Basically, first you onboard them, you give them the full context about your business, your personal choices as a ASO manager or marketer or content generator, and then you put what you like, what you don't like, and you give all the inputs basically possible to give the full context, and then the output will be higher quality according to that. So you're not going to get generic answers, and if you're getting generic answers today, that's because you're not
agree with Alper actually, and Simon probably, like, they also, based on my experience not only with ChatGPT, also the Jasper and the Midjourney, is that okay, whenever you ask even the polite way or not polite way, the answers are different, and you can say, hey, no, do more than you, and then yeah, and then you can get several answers, and then you can combine them.
Please
I say, hey, do this. So then, actually, my next question is connected with that one. What is the pros and cons of using AI tools, and any tips that you can share with us? And start with Alper.
Okay, I'm trying to think of cons, but only thing that comes to mind is the privacy concerns. Like some companies are not using it as much because of their internal policies, and that might be that's probably the only one that comes to mind. I don't see necessarily the cons. You might become lazy, like maybe that's another con. But I think there are a lot more pros than cons, like in everything. There will be always some negative.
Tell some pros and tell some cons.
I think for the cons, that's it. And then for the pros, I don't always necessarily support. I don't always do it only for the efficiency, but it's also like for the creativity. Like sometimes I was almost never disappointed by the output. And if I am, I give 5 more prompts to improve that until I'm happy with that. That's another, I think, important point.
You are an optimistic guy. You're never disappointed. I'm always. It's like, okay, especially with the visual and motion. It's like,
yeah, but then you iterate. Yeah, of course, the first prompt usually sucks, but then, I don't know, I think I spent hundreds of hours on it, that it understands me, it knows what I want, and also you can put in custom instructions, especially for ChatGPT. Not every model supports it, but you can just say, hey, these are custom instructions. And then you can define it, how it should behave, how it should, structure the response, in what format, if you want, the tables or this and that. Like, I have, I think, different, I have different kind of chats for the app description, for the metadata and stuff. And it's always so structured in terms of even the format that it comes up with it. It already counts the character count and this and that. But at the beginning, when you just tell, hey, give me ideas for a subtitle, like if you don't give the character count limits and stuff, of course it's going to give. And even sometimes it might still give you the wrong, let's say, subtitle suggestion. But then in the custom prompts, you can say, hey, double check all the limitations before you send it to me. And this kind of stuff, for example, it's a lot of tweaking it to a certain extent. So on the pro side, it's also enhancing the creativity and enhancing on what you already have. It's not like, okay, it will do everything for you. I personally learned from it. I'm like, oh, I didn't think about that, especially when it's a super niche app that when you just think about it, you don't know what other different ways to convey it. And it's super helpful to do that.
Thanks, man. Skylar?
Yeah. So
don't say I agree with Alper and say something else, man.
I don't agree with Alper on this. If I'm not mistaken, I think if you use the paid, the GPT-4, that one, there's not, they don't share the data, or the data is kind of like relatively safe. Is that true, or? No,
they always share for learning purposes. You can disable it though, but then you will not have history. And then I want history. Okay. So that's the...
Okay. So I agree with Alper then.
Simon?
I don't disagree, but I have some cons. I have 2 cons. The first one I think is rather obvious, but it's more like it's not for everyone. I think what AI will do, it will do 80-90% of the total quality you could hope for in 10% of the time. And so I think for a lot of companies that are rather small size or just starting to scale, it makes a lot of sense to go after this. But large companies, in practice, if you spend so much time optimizing your prompts, you may actually save time by just going to a designer who has been already hired by the company. If you don't have that designer, it's different. But so that's where I would say first con is more like compare in terms of resources, because you guys have done definitely a lot more investigation of trainings than I have, because I'm lucky. I work in a company that's already large enough to have data scientists who build the AI for us. And so I don't need to do that much training. They do it for me. The other con is somewhat related, but it's also about having control over the data that is used to generate the output. we did this thing. We tried asking ChatGPT at the beginning of the year to give us an overview of the main topics people would mention in the user reviews of Netflix. And the fun thing is, because AppTweak works on its own AI models, and we only have data that comes from the store, we try to compare it with our own stuff. And so my favorite random story about AI is that ChatGPT doesn't know that apparently a lot of Netflix users are angry that Vampire Diaries were not available for a few months. But so that's the kind of stuff that when you have proper control over the data, you're not going to get fed what ChatGPT will assume is being said about you, because based on your area of business, most likely people complain about that, but it doesn't know about your app specifically. And also, it won't know about the very specific stuff that people are saying about you. And so to me, it's not an indictment on AI, but it's more an indictment on thinking that any AI can produce the same output. I think there has to be a lot of research on which AI fits the best case for you, and kind of then goes to this balance between how much time will I need to either educate it, or how much money will I have to spend to get access to this particular version, and what is the quality of output I'm going to get, and is this going to make a difference on my bottom line?
Yeah, for me, the pros and cons is that I can save the money as well, save the time, to hire someone else. It's good for, for instance, localization. It's really good for main languages, of course, not for non-main languages like Georgian. It's very bad, for instance, or even the Chinese. It's very bad, or Japanese. It's really bad. And also another con is that sometimes it gives me very wrong data, especially when I work with visuals or images or want proper video. It gives very bad results, and I have to spend a lot of time to get what I need, or even at the end I will not get this. Yeah, and then I'm gonna waste my time. Yeah, this is the main cons that I see it. Another question is the most interesting one actually for me is to get out from you which tools you work for ASO stuff, for instance, for metadata, for localization, for visual development, also the motion development, maybe for like a video, the voice stuff. You're the pro with that. So I don't know. Start with Skylar.
Yeah, for me, an interesting one that did work on was for Picsart. We created about 100 different app icon variations using text to image. Well, yeah, Picsart's image gen technology, and then out of that we had a handful that we were testing and stuff like that. None of them performed well, but it was an interesting kind of just exercise to see kind of what kind of output it had. And yeah, some of the icons were terrible. Some of them were actually pretty nice, but that was one. And for the other stuff, I just mainly use ChatGPT, and that's for the metadata, keyword research, localization. No, and this was going to be one of my cons before, but I don't think the localization is trustworthy specifically for other languages. Obviously in English, it's good, I can check that, but for other languages, I don't feel entirely confident using that solely as my localization tool, just because, if I'm translating it to Brazilian Portuguese, I don't know if that's really accurate or trustworthy. So that'd be one of my cons. But for everything else, I use ChatGPT, and I haven't really delved into anything aside from those ones, but interested to hear what you guys have to say.
Got it, yeah. So I left up Alper the last one because I know he knows really interesting tools. I don't know what tools you know. Simon.
I guess I can say AppTweak. I mean, just like Picsart has its own AI generating tools, we have our own. So that's where I start usually.
I'm starting crying now.
Yeah, sorry, I had to do the plug. But outside of it, I experiment every other day with ChatGPT just to see if there can be a new way of kind of getting it to work. For translation, I'd say trust but verify. For me, the challenge is I don't know if I can trust it, but at the same time, if I have to wait for a translator or a colleague to come up with something, it takes a lot longer. So I will usually ask it to give me something, and then if I know someone who speaks the language, I'll just send it over to them and say, "Can you tell me if this makes any sense?" Image-wise, I haven't really used it for ASO. I've used it for some personal applications, but I'd say image-wise, the value I would try to get is usually help me get something visual, because I'm terrible at Photoshop, Microsoft Paint, or whichever tool in between you want to use. But I realize that if I want a designer to work on something, and I just give them a long brief in the form of text, it always takes an hour of conversation to go somewhere. If I show up and say something along these lines, but probably don't do that part or make this different, it streamlines the conversation a lot. So to me, it's all about saying the generalistic ones, I'll kind of get them to have something to build on. And yeah, when I know what is a data set that's being used to generate something, I also start feeling more confident. So when I can find any tool where I can decide what the input is and know that that's the only input that's going to be used for the output, then I'll go try that as well.
Got it. Alper, tell more, man.
Yeah, like, I mean,
I'm a bit disappointed now, but you're gonna make my life easier. Tell me. I have one. I have actually several that it's not mentioned yet. So please.
Yeah, I did try multiple. I mean, I think definitely mostly ChatGPT for the text, and then I think Copy AI, Jasper, Perplexity. I would say these were the main ones that I played around with. I'm sure there's 100 more.
But Jasper and for what? For localization as well? And
text
what is the
in general? Yeah, text generation.
And they have also the Chrome extension, guys, so you can just download it, and then it's easier actually than ChatGPT, because they are using ChatGPT together with DALL-E as well. No, this kind of stuff, and they are mixing the stuff. So I think it's even better sometimes the translation than based on my experience as well. Yeah.
I didn't use it for translations much, so I can't comment on that. We just use ChatGPT for the localization, and you ask a friend, "Hey, is this okay?" And they're like, "Yeah, cool." If we ask more like, "Is there a deal breaker?" or so. And then for the visuals, definitely DALL-E, Midjourney, and then experimenting with Firefly a bit. And they're all different in a way. But you need to invest time. I don't think just, okay, try this tool, if it works or not, is not really a thing, or just trying it every couple of days to see if it's good or not. It's really, you have to train it. Like how you would train a colleague who just onboarded on your team. You tell them everything you want, everything you like. Just you're building a relationship. So you build your relationship with the AI. And then if you don't know how to do that, then you ask other AI to create the prompts. Like it's very common to create Midjourney prompts on ChatGPT, and then you refine it and so on. But I think it's not, you shouldn't think so complex. Like people who don't use AI, they're like, there are GPTs, you need to train them, then you need to fine tune them and this and that. Like I experimented a bit with the assistants and so on, but I was like, okay, like I will do it when I have more time. Now I already trained my own, my GPT in a way. So as long as you give your, the custom prompts and then the user prompts and then the custom instructions, that's pretty much all you need, how to, in terms of shape the output. And then if you have no idea, what you can do is you can just join the Discord channels of these AI tools, and then you can just find the keywords. I don't know, like last night I was checking on the Firefly, like some App Store screenshots and stuff, just to see what people write in and what kind of output they get. So you also learn from others, because it's usually produced in public like channels in Discord. So there's a lot to learn, and then you also come up with something that, oh, actually this is interesting way to approach it. So you see other people's prompts and so on. I think that's very interesting. If you are stuck and don't know what to do next, you can always get inspiration from those.
Cool. So for me, what I'm using actually, guys, is of course ChatGPT, Jasper for localization as well. For visuals, actually, I'm using Midjourney. Midjourney is good actually for icon development. There are a lot of already icon developed from other apps, so you can just steal it and just revise it and do your stuff. So it's really good. Another stuff is in video AI. It's really good for in-app events. So through them you can develop a lot of videos for in-app events. Another stuff that your favorite one, HeyGen.
Yeah, I forgot to mention.
HeyGen, come on, man. HeyGen, man. I think they pay you for that, and you always take HeyGen and you forget it.
I don't want to advertise too much.
So it's like a localization of the video, so you can localize the voice and you can change the lips. And it's changing automatically, so you can speak whatever Chinese, Japanese within the same video. Another stuff that comes in mind, Leonardo AI, another Synthesia. It's kind of similar than HeyGen, and these three apps are like together actually. And the not so good experience I have with Renway and Canva AI. Also, Canva has their own AI. The quality is bad so far, but I think you have to follow that because they have their own product manager, so they're gonna improve it. So this is the stuff that I try, and for most of them I failed, but still some of them are really good for usage. In terms of like video, I couldn't manage to find any good one. In video is good, but still there is the room for improvement. So hopefully within the DALL-E as well, yes, for visuals, but it has a restriction, like no celebrity or all this kind of stuff. So and also and Midjourney also no free trial, which is very bad from March. And that's so the next question, I want to join two questions in one because I want to do a QA with the guys. So to not to do only our questions. So I combine two questions in one. First question will be, what is the key learning for ASO and AI within the recent 3 months or 6 months you guys can share with the audience? And second question is, what are your forecasts? What new stuff is going to appear for ASO AI? What do you think? Alper, let's do short, man.
Okay, so first one was the
key learning and new stuff.
And then new stuff, okay. I would say the key learning is that AI is proven that it can do a better job than what you might think. I did some tests and it was like some screenshot testing, and I just tested the AI generated captions versus human generated captions. And I didn't do too many iterations, so it could be a bias, just one test, cool. Or maybe the human one was already too bad, there are 100 reasons why it won. But it also, I also like the output and so on. So, and since as every ASO manager testing the screenshots anyway, so I would encourage to start super simple, just start with the screenshot captions and just see how that performs for you. And this is for people in case they are not using it yet. And then in terms of new stuff, I think, we already have dashboards and ASO tools where you plug in your, MMP and, App Store Connect data and all that. Probably with the whole, AI, it will not be just, the dashboards will become smarter. So it will tell you exactly what to do next because it has all the information, of the whole competitor rankings, your rankings, the search scores and such. And then it will automatically suggest based on all the ranking movements per localization and such. I think this is where we are probably shifting towards.
Yeah. Thanks. Skylar?
Yeah, I think the main learning is to just start using it and have fun with it, because it is pretty fun to mess around with and kind of tinker with. And then through that, I think you'll develop a habit of using it more often and really incorporating it. And I also got another key learning just from hearing you guys talk, which is to really delve into some of these other tools because they sound really good. And yeah, I've known that they've been on the periphery. I didn't really deal too much with testing them out. Yeah, partly because we have designers and stuff. I don't really need a lot of those, but just going back to the point of becoming literate with a lot of these tools, I'm going to try them out. So that's a personal key learning. As for what's next, I'm really curious to see how this is going to get incorporated into the different tools that we use. I was at the Google playtime last week, and they were talking about how they have big plans to really like incorporate this into their console and stuff. And then I'm sure like, yeah, you guys have your own AI thing going on, and like, yeah, I'm just curious to see how it goes going forward, and how that's actually going to like save us time, help us out, and help us do things a lot more efficiently.
Cool, man. Simon?
Yeah, for key learning, I would say for me it's way better at processing data than I would have thought possible in just like the moment it became a thing and now. The only challenge, as I mentioned, is more like having proper control of the amount of data that's used to generate something. But if you can have that, then it's just going to make processing data so much faster. And so I'll say, to me, it's not just what's going to come is not just about like making smarter dashboards. It's making you not need to look at dashboards and telling you, here's a screenshot you show in your meeting, but what you need to say in the meeting is, this is the story that's actually being told. So I think that's really where I have high hopes for next year. It's kind of having the insight generation that goes from just saying like the reporting stuff, it's more or less there already. Like there's still challenges, but it's already here in a way. And I think the next step is going to be more of having an alert that tell you this is when you need to look at this dashboard because, oh, we're seeing that there's an outlier over there about like your revenue suddenly dipped and we are correlating it with that other outlier. Maybe check it out. I think that's going to be the thing to hope for next year.
Cool. So I want to add on top of you. So that my key learning is that, as you said, Alper, that actually it's like different prompts giving different results within the same request. Actually, so check the prompts, guys. Go to different articles because there are a lot of actually from Nadir. Nadir was among the first one who developed the article about ChatGPT and how to do a proper prompts there. There are also other ones from Midjourney, how you do the proper prompts, and you within the same request you can get the different results. This is my main key learnings over the several months working with visuals and working with text AI tools. What's the new? I think I'm waiting for the good new AI tool with video. Who developed the video from scratch, because right now it's good. It's still there are some in video, for instance, in video AI, but it's still limited. I can't do video from scratch, just putting the stuff and I have the video. It's not possible right now within the tools.
I think there are some.
Yeah, but still, I mean, the quality is very bad, and then you are disappointed. So this will come. I hope this will come next. And also in terms of like AI, I think the next will be maybe we can see the merge with augmented reality and virtual reality in future together with artificial intelligence, and that would be really cool. That's another level of life, I think, that we're gonna expect it. So guys, next is a QA from you, so don't be shy. Raise your hand and ask any question you want. Even you can ask why Simon is here.
I'm actually curious, like for the daily users, what is your main challenge? I will
be assistant.
Thank you. First of all, thank you all for your insights. I want to go back to a point that you mentioned, George. I'm not sure if I understood it correctly, but you said you use motion generation for in-app events. Can you give an example of that?
So there is an in-video AI, so you can do a lot of motion for in-app events. You can do a video, you can post the video for in-app events. So to develop a lot of them, the tool, this kind of in-video AI, you can use this and try. There are a lot of, so it's not only the static, but also the video. You can post the video there. Yeah, this is the question.
Does this work as like text to video, or is it like you inputted static and get a video?
No, you inputted the static. Also the text one, but text not really good. But you can send several prompts with text, and yeah, you will get. But of course, usually static. Sure.
Hello, I have a question to Skylar. Skylar, yeah. So you mentioned that you used AI to generate 100 icons for Picsart. So how exactly did you do that? Did you write like in text and explained what needs to be created, or like?
Yeah, like we had the icon that it currently has, and yeah, I think it was part of the training. Like I wasn't really involved in the generation of them, but that is something that like the team did produce, and then they were just delivering batches. So yeah, the specifics I don't really know because it is, yeah, I don't know how they did it, but yeah.
I can give you actually, because I dealing with icon from scratch. So there is the tool Midjourney, which I use. So there are the two ways how to develop the icon. First of all, there is a search there. You can just type the search, and there are a community of many like art workers and designers that are already working. And if you don't pay, there is a high enterprise price. Everyone else gonna see your visual. So there are two ways. Yes, first is steal something and reuse it. So how you can steal? You have like a fitness app. You can put the fitness app icon, and you will see 50 app icons from different people. Then you can choose the top 10 from you or all of them, and then you can ask download them. Then you can ask the same Midjourney. Okay, do this. Remove this, add this, this stuff. For instance, there is an article that I developed together with Peter Further. So check that out. There is also there are two ways how to develop the icons. First is from scratch, and second using using the stuff. So check that out, and there is the whole stuff with the prompt, which prompt you have to use to get the best out of it. Okay.
And just out of curiosity, like how did they perform the icons that were created?
Actually, really good. Yeah. Of course, most of them none, because I mean, first of all, tool is very bad. App Store Connect tool is very bad. It's like, I don't know, like 90% of confidence interval. You are like 90-80s guys, or what's going on? Steve Jobs actually is turning away in a coffin. If he sees some kind of stuff, yes. So but like some of them already was successful for me, and then from there I iterated further, within the same tool. So that works, and I encourage you to try as well. Sure.
Can you please repeat what kind of AI do you use for screenshots, and if it's working good or not?
Yeah, from screenshots actually. All AI I use sucks, to be honest. And yeah, I mean the DLE you can try, and the Midjourney, but they all are very bad. In I don't know, guys. Alper, you use a lot. For screenshots, actually, I don't find even, or you have to have your original screenshots, and then you can do some prompts, and then you can just a bit slightly increase. But like from scratch, it's very bad. Like in my experience, working with the games, also prompts, putting the apps prompts as well, it's very bad. It's like based on my experience. Yeah, I don't know, guys.
I haven't tried screenshots recently, to be honest, but I try at least once per month to just input any kind of random image request to see what does it look like today. In my experience, AI is bad at multi-layered images, and screenshots often are that. You need to incorporate different layers of image. So if you really want to try AI, I guess you could try to kind of ask it to generate each layer after layer. But so that's also where I usually would probably tell, I would probably try to have a conversation with a designer about have they tried it, because they understand the technical specs behind an image better, and try to learn from them.
Thank you.
Anyone else from... Not from the first row, but from the second, third, guys? Sure.
I wanted to ask how Google treats AI content versus human content, because Google's task is to provide the best content for its users, right? So let's say if I have...
That's one take.
What?
I would say provide the best content to its user is one take. Sorry to interrupt, but I would say Google has ambiguous positioning on AI. They are claiming that they want to have responsible AI where you will have a tag about any AI generated image. In your console, you can ask Google to create a description variant where it just like changes your description for a custom product page. So, and if you tried it, I don't know, have people around in the room tried it? Yeah, okay, so I don't know about you guys, but if we're the only two, I would say to me it's definitely not great content. So I would say here, the real question around AI and Google is more about SEO and the amount of duplicated content. With ASO, at the moment, there's no reason to think that Google dislikes duplicate content because we have a ton of apps that are just clones of other apps. So I would say it's more about keeping it real with the user vitals and stuff that we are familiar with in the console. I don't think they have a big focus on AI on this right now.
Yeah, I would also add that it's about how you put it, like depending on the output. So you can always humanize it, and you can ask AI to humanize it as well. You could just have the prompt say, "Don't make it non-detectable by any AI checker systems," and stuff like that. And then you can add a bit more natural. So I personally never use a complete output from AI. I always add mine, then I add a little bit AI, then I kind of wash it like 5 times. Like you have to launder it a bit, and then it doesn't sound like AI. Like typical ChatGPT keywords, like the words they use, like elevate, level up, and stuff. I always tell, do not use the word elevate, do not use the word level up, because I see it everywhere, because everyone using the same, not like same prompt in a way, but ChatGPT has some specific language that when I read it, I can understand. And more you experience with it, more you understand, this sounds like AI. And then you tell the AI, don't use these words, and then humanize it and so on. Like you can write like 4 or 5 sentences about it, then it's like a good human content.
I know they also have a tool that you can use to check how Google classifies it, like the natural language. So you can like check it through there. But I always check everything before. So.
Yeah, and do you think that, for example, the stores, so Apple, for example, will be the way to find unlimited content with AI generator? Because, for example, Steam, it was very clear that you cannot do games with AI generated images. And so, do you think Apple always try to protect the users somehow? Will go in that direction somehow?
I think it's not easy to prove that, hey, this is AI.
Yeah.
Because as a human, you can put a dot on it and you can say prove that it is 100%. Where's the machine? Where's the output? And this will be a little back and forth in a way. Of course, they will communicate that to prevent people using just AI and low content, low quality content. Mm-hmm. But in practice, I think it will be very difficult to argue against and prove it.
And Apple in general is not the best, in terms of like catching up the technology right now. So it will be very hard for them to develop such kind of tool to recognize if it's AI or not, because there are a lot of tools actually, and they have their own database, and I'm not sure that they share it. The tools that you can see publicly, of course, you can track. Yeah, but if you have enterprise version, for instance, for Midjourney, you will not see, others will not see it, so it's not the public information.
I think I know that they are not probably the most in technology, but they are more annoying ones.
Also, you can, like as Alper mentioned, you shouldn't use copy paste from AI in visuals. You can just revise a bit, and that's it. It's yours then.
I'd also say they're gatekeepers, and they serve their own interests. And it could sound very conspiracy theory, but I think in reality, like it's part of being a company, so we shouldn't be shocked by it. But yeah, it's when they work on their own AI stuff, if they get to a level where they're popular, they may start trying to block out other AI systems because they could have the power to. This is basically what happened with Apple saying they are embracing privacy. Somehow, you don't have the same standard for Apple Search Ad than for everyone else. But that's part of the game. So to me, what I would look at is more like, what are they doing? And if you feel like they have potential to do something good for users, you can embrace it. Like, we won't be surprised when they get to a quality level that's good enough that they start trying to shut down alternatives. But at the moment, I don't think that's going to be their priorities because they're not that performing yet. And so it's more about like knowing what they're doing and how they compare to the rest of the field at this point.
Cool, guys. So we are out of time, so the other questions, feel free to ask us in lobby or whatever. Catch you there. Thank you.
Thank you.